There we go. Nice one over there. Oh.
Hey, my name is Tracy. I work with the National Stroke Association in Malaysia. I am by profession a physiotherapist with about probably 20 years of experience. Today we will talk about the role of the National Stroke Association of Malaysia in stroke management in Malaysia. Briefly, we'll just go through a simple introduction, look at our services, and what we do to raise the awareness of stroke and support stroke in Malaysia. Who are we? We are the first non-profit organization in Southeast Asia to provide rehabilitation services solely for stroke survivors and to support their families. Unlike most other support systems, we actually provide therapy. We have grown from a single center in 1996 to 9 centers across Malaysia. We are an essential alternative for those who cannot afford private health care, and we seek to try and facilitate the government services in the care of stroke in Malaysia. Our vision is to serve stroke survivors throughout Malaysia. And our mission? Yes, there is life after stroke. That's what we believe in. That's what we strive and aim for. And we also aim to promote stroke prevention in the country, because we know stroke is very preventable. What we seek to do is to empower our patients. We want them to make decisions again. We want to provide an environment that encourages the stroke survivor to explore their options and support them in their choices. We want to give them a right to choose, to live life again, and provide a nourishing, encouraging environment for that. We have a tendency to take away that right when they get to the hospital. We tell them when to eat, when to dress, what to wear, what to do, what medications to take. Yes, you have to do your exercises now. No, you can't go and play your video games now. No, put down the phone. Get yourself off to exercise. Get out of bed. Go to sleep. We take everything away. We want to give them back their lives and their right to choose what they want to do. So who are we in our team? What are our services? We actually do quarterly reviews and audits of all our active stroke survivors who come and work with us with their rehabilitation, and those who also come to maintain their ability to move and to socialize. So we do functional assessments. We look at speed, endurance, balance, hand function, cognitive function. We look at how they participate back in society. Are they working? Are they going out? Are they mixing with friends? Or are they just staying at home? We look at how they perceive their own recovery. It's not what we think, but what they think. Done every 3 months. We have an audit system that works in our own portal, which was designed for us. And we monitor things like 6-minute walk test, 10-meter walk test, work balance, and this data is all collected in our portal. We use this data to basically monitor how well our patients and our strokies, whom we call, how well they're doing. What are they doing? Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? Are they responding to changes in therapy provision? So, just to give a short example, we brought in some trainers from Australia based on evidence that high intensity training and very high repetitions brings about better change. This also sought to get patients to do their own work, to be in charge of their therapy. So this was by Stroke Ed from Australia, and these are some of the results. Training was in March, so this was our audit results in December to March. And our March to June results, you'll actually see more people improving, more people maintaining, and less people getting worse. Just a reminder, this data is raw. That means we don't do any statistical analysis on it. We just count the number of people who got better, who got worse, who stayed the same on that score, on that functional measure, So this is the 6-minute walk test, a brief test on endurance, which we know Malaysians don't do very well. We also look at the Stroke Impact Scale 9, which looks at how the stroke survivors feel they are recovering. How well are they recovering? So in December to March, you see that more of them feel that they're recovering better, less were maintaining, and a lot of them got worse. Whereas in March to June after training, a lot of them maintain. Not so many felt that they got better, probably because they felt, hey, I can do better than this if I work hard. And if you can see, the number of people who got worse were less. So this is how we do a rough gauge of how our patients feel and where we're going with therapy. And this is one more slide where we just look at the beautiful work balance. And as you can see, after training, we had more people improving on their balance. The other thing we did towards the end of the year was we actually did the Stroke Games 2019, which is a set of games that are designed to improve balance, strength. It's very functional because it's things like crossing over, walking faster, carrying weights. It is a way for us to encourage stroke survivors to reach new heights and explore their capabilities. Our founder, Janet Yeo, actually says, don't look at what you can't do, but look at what you can. So we provided an environment to say, if you want to try this, go ahead, we'll make sure it's as safe as you can. And as you can see, we've got stroke survivors that can run, carry weights, play lawn ball, play handball. They can run faster than some of my therapists. So a brief overview of their results. So from June, before the Stroke Games, September to December is after the Stroke Games. You can actually see not much difference in the 6-minute walk test because many of them were hitting like the plateau, top of the baseline kind of a figure. And they had already just completed intensive training from our March training before. You can also see here, interestingly, they felt that I could get better even more. Less people got worse, more people maintained their scores, but they were feeling, hi, I think I can do better. The next one, you just look at the work balance, where some majority of our exercises were based on. You actually get more people getting better, less people maintaining, a few who got worse, and I think those were the ones who couldn't participate due to other health reasons. So again, we have a little bit of data where we can actually track our patients and see where they're going with their recovery. Not all the information is provided here. So we have our standard team. This is what everybody would expect of in a rehabilitation facility. But we are very goal orientated. And we also involve our own stroke survivors in our therapy. We have volunteers who come in and help. So physiotherapy is very goal orientated, it's function based, and it's pretty intensive. We have occupational therapy as well, both cognitive and upper limb. We have occupational therapy in art and craft, so getting people to be creative in groups. We have speech therapy, although during the MCO period we are now actually referring the service out due to constraints in the SOP. We are holistic in our approach, whereby before the MCO we allow them to experience lots of varieties in treatment. We are trying to let them feel what they can do. We get them out, go for outings, try hobbies, try the pool, listen to music. Let them experience life again. Before the MCO, we also used to take them to parks on a regular basis. We got them down to do a bit of horse riding. We have regular Chico sessions in some of our centers. We also celebrate life, recreational activities. We take them out to outings. In those days before the MCO, they want to go to Starbucks. They want to go to other shops to eat. Sometimes we celebrate in our own centers. Everybody brings in some food. Or we have a cookout. This is to show stroke survivors you can still enjoy life. You can still celebrate your milestones. You can still celebrate your festivities. You still have friends. This is part of life. We have stroke survivors have a right to enjoy life. We have a Head to Heal program running, and this was running for 2 years already, where we try to increase the variety of activities at the clubs and even try to get our stroke survivors to run some of the activities, to empower them, to show them, yes, I can do stuff, I can help others. We have an ambassador program which is again undertaken by our stroke survivors, encouraging them to speak about their stroke experience, to let others know that they've made it through, they've undertaken their rehab, they've gotten back their life. They also speak about stroke prevention, how it can be prevented, and stroke recognition as well. We do have a carers support group where we have carers that get together and they jaw and they lean on each other's shoulders and they find support from each other, get some helpful tips from each other as well. A very nice little mentor-mentee program where we have stroke survivors again. The senior ones who've had a stroke for a few months, they look after the new ones coming in, help them through the system, guide them into recovery, and become a good example. Right, telehealth. Welcome to the new norm. We have moved on to telehealth to reduce the face-to-face contact with our clients. Before the MCO, we used to have group sessions every day in our centers, Monday to Friday. The group will come in, they'll have a good time, good exercise session, work on their strength, endurance, balance. Not going to happen now with the MCO until it eases off and it's safe for them to come back. So we started telehealth because we wanted to support our stroke survivors. We have Zoom. One-on-one. It's about 40 minutes to an hour depending on the session. And what happens is that we will contact the patient, see if they are suitable. Some of them can't manage telehealth because hardware issues, data issues, lack of helper. They are not medically stable enough to handle the one-to-one session in their house and they need more monitoring. We have, once we clear them and they're okay with the telehealth session at home, we call in and we run the session from home. And there is evidence to support that this is almost as good as running it face-to-face if you have the proper support system in place. It also empowers your client to take charge and more responsibility on themselves and not depend on a therapist. We have Zoom groups. Now this is to actually replace daily groups that run every day in our centers. And at the present moment, it's not 3 days a week we're doing it every day, Monday to Friday. We have stroke survivors in Malaysia and 1 or 2 from Singapore who are Malaysian citizens. Okay, they run for 2 hours on weekdays. It is open to stroke survivors, but they do need to come in for an assessment with one of our centers and be referred by a doctor as well. Because we need to know at what level they are, how they're moving, if there are any safety precautions or contraindications we need to monitor. Each session or group is based on their functional ability to walk or mobilize. So they're divided into a group that can walk independently, walk with assistance, and stuck in a wheelchair. And each group will then have a 2-hour session Monday to Friday. It's run by one therapist to watch the system, to watch the therapist, and to watch the strokies doing their exercises. So there'll be one person we call the host, who will host the meeting and keep an eye on everyone moving and making sure they don't fall, monitoring their movements, giving them feedback on how they're moving. Again, access to this group, patient needs to be screened and assessed first to make sure that they are suitable and they have the hardware and the software to support the system. There is also a spotter who gives a live feedback during the session, as I've mentioned, who will just keep an eye on things as well. There will be a therapist as well, who will actually be conducting the session and demonstrating the exercises. So altogether 2 therapists, one who spots and hosts, one who runs the session and moves and demonstrates the movement. Zoom sessions include aerobics, upper limb and lower limb exercise groups, bit of cognitive OT work. We do have Qigong running at the present moment as well. We do have a little bit of a chit-chat session at the back sometimes for certain groups. We also have what is known as WhatsApp video. This is to cater to those who cannot handle the Zoom sessions. The Zoom sessions tend to take up a lot of data. It's about 500 to 700 megabytes of data. With the WhatsApp video, again, it's divided into 3 large groups, and we send the videos out to those groups based on their functional abilities and the activities on the day. They get about an hour's worth of exercise. It's short video clips of exercises that are aerobic, and then we have some upper limb and lower limb work. We also have some cognitive work that goes up once a week as well. People can then log in, check their WhatsApp, pick up the exercises, try them. Any problems, send a message back to the therapist and they will pick it up, then give them feedback and help them out. Most of the exercises are designed and undertaken by our therapists. So you'll actually see our own therapists doing the exercises, performing them on the videos. Bit homegrown. Now, a unique thing about NASAM is that we're there for the long term. We don't have like a discharge plan. We're there with the stroke survivor for as long as they need us through their journey. From the time they leave the hospital and they join us, and for as long as they want to stay with us. For many, we are the only source of socialization for them. They don't have friends outside the NASAM group sometimes. They don't have a place to go, meet people, have some fun, have a good workout, and then go home. That supports them. That will guide them and nourish them. We know that on the long run, for a lot of our stroke survivors, if they don't stay active, they're likely to have a lot of secondary issues, and that will reduce their quality of life and lower their functional levels as well. So we keep them active, we keep them happy to be active, we keep them happy going out when we're able. We can prevent a lot of the secondary and long-term issues. At the same time, we also keep an eye on them because they participate in our quarterly audits and we have a spot check. Where are you? What are you doing? Do you feel happy? Are there any needs that you want us to work on? Stroke champions, whom we call our stroke survivors and patients, when they have come into our system and are participating, will then stay with us. Some of them will move on, they will go out to their jobs, they will pick up new hobbies, but they're free to come back at any time when they have issues, physical issues, need some company, need a shoulder to lean on, cry on if necessary, caregivers included. Then we'll try and help them up, get them back on your feet again, and see where they go with that. So some will stay, some will move on and come back. But we don't discharge them. And we just want to be with them to support them. So it's a long-term plan as well. So we see our patients from the time of discharge for as long as they need us to be there. This is the other part that NASAM plays a rather important role. We need to change Malaysia's perception on stroke. Majority of the patients or people in Malaysia, if I were to say, my stroke survivor can run faster than you, they would probably doubt it. But they can. So what do? 2 messages we really push very hard. The first one is stroke is preventable. Recognize your stroke factors, control them, seek medical help to control them. Recognize a stroke, get help immediately, go to the hospital. Change your lifestyle, manage your lifestyle to prevent strokes, to reduce your risk factors. These are the messages we try to push and bring to the community as much as we can, because we know stroke is preventable. And if we need any help, or if anybody needs any help with running forums, webinars on this topic, let us know. We can drop in or provide a webinar recording if necessary, and we can help you with getting the message out. These are some of the places that we've worked with, in some booths, in outreach. Now this is our second message. Rehabilitation is important to optimize recovery. Every stroke survivor should be given some form of intervention or an option to recover. I understand that there are very, very severe strokes out there, but even they can benefit from a little bit of therapy to improve the quality of life, to educate the caregivers on how to handle and manage them, how to make them comfortable, how to get them to be happy. Stroke survivors who are able to walk, move, talk, should be given rehabilitation, or should be given an option to get into rehabilitation to recover, to optimize and really get them to the best that they can be and what they want to be. So this is something we need to give to our community, that if you have someone who's got a stroke at home, don't just leave them at home. See if something can be done. See if we can make them happy. See if we can get them up and moving. See if we can get them to realize that there is life after stroke. And the only way we can do that is sometimes to empower them and the family to make that decision. This is some of the newsletters, leaflets, and media that we produce. So we have a stroke news, which is posted on our Facebook site. We have leaflets that talk about recovery, stroke prevention. We have a YouTube page, and we also have a website. So this is some of the publication and media that we actually use, and we can distribute. So if there's a clinic that needs it, let us know. We'll try and post it out to you. There is also a helpline. So this helpline is monitored by one of our therapists. It's 7 days a week. Might be a bit slow on the weekends if we're a bit busy, but we will get back to the caller and reply as soon as we're able, and try and advise as best as we can. Our message is yes, there is life after stroke. Let's help stroke survivors achieve that. I would like to thank the organizers of this Congress for allowing me and the National Stroke Association to present a little bit about us and how we can try to help stroke survivors in this country, and also to raise the awareness of stroke, to prevent it, and to ensure that stroke survivors receive rehabilitation to enjoy life and live life after stroke. Thank you very much.